what I'm going to do while we're waiting for Maya is I'm going to start our true or false game.
It's time for True or False on Be Green with Amy Live. Answer true or false to Amy's questions in the comments below, and Amy will ask our guest for the expert answer.
Hi.
Oh, there she is. We were just hi there. Did you got some help there, huh?
Yeah. I'm wearing. Oh my God!
Sorry about Maya. Isn't that spooky? Even though I have my phone silenced, I still have to experience the crazy alerts. Welcome, Maya.
Thank you for having me.
I am so glad that you're here. Oh,
thank you.
And you had a little help there with your setup there, technical support.
It's so funny. I was more concerned about you, Amy, and what's happening in your area. And I thought, maybe we'll have technical problems on your end. And it turned out to be my end.
Yeah, right? Isn't that crazy? I am loving what you're wearing. Tell me what you're wearing. Wait.
All right.
Let me show you full screen so we can experience it. So what have you got on?
Well, thank you, Amy. So two things. So this apron I want to tell a little story if I have time, a little story about it. Last year, my husband and I and our dog, anyway, we went over to Big Bend National Park, and we had a tour guide take us around some of the key areas, and he took us to the closest point in the park to Mexico. So you can like wave to people. So the closest that we could go, there's a little river there, the Rio Grande, but it's the kind of the most narrow area where people can cross over. And before the pandemic, and I think the city might be open now, the crossing might be open, but you could cross the border, you can cross the river on a small boat to the other side, which is Mexico, and it's called Boquillas. And that's how people, can buy gifts and things like that, but also support the small town. So when we went last year, it was closed off still. Nobody could cross over. So what we saw, and I caught it on film, but I decided not to share, is we saw people crossing the border with merchandise on their back. And they would leave it on our side at the national park on top of rocks and other things, and they have this honor system. So you pick what you want and you know what the price is, and then you just leave the money in a jar. And then during the day, someone else comes and picks up the money. And so that was, ever since then, I have fallen in love with this apron because of the colors. And then on my most recent trip to Cancun, I picked up some other kind of little dresses that are more traditional. And Cancun is very humid, so these are comfortable to wear during the heat. They're like dresses. You can't really see.
You just are looking. You're really pulling this off, I tell you. That's such a great story, too.
Thank you. Yeah. So I probably would have been a little bit more prepared, but it's been lots and lots on my plate. But I'm so excited about today, and I'm excited to reconnect with you again.
Yes, I am, too. And today you're going to, I wanted to ask the audience, and you can type it in the comments. Have you ever eaten or prepared cactus? So guys, type it in the comments and let us know. Because today Maya will help us learn about cooking with cactus and how to shop for it. And we're going to learn a lot about it. And last time on our broadcast, I was telling everybody that you showed us how to prepare hearts of palm. So you are just like you're coming up with things, because people are like, oh, I've had everything I've ever could have, and then you come up with these ideas, which is so great because it's so important, right? For a microbiome to experience diversity in plants, right? And sometimes we kind of get in a rut, and it's just nice to kind of have a little bit something different. And Maya, you definitely know your way around a plant-based kitchen. So I really love how you introduce recipes with plant-based foods that may not be familiar with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I have my second camera that has, that'll show you this perspective, and I can switch over to show you what the cactus looks like while people are answering if they've ever cooked with cactus. But I will tell you, I was going to peel for you. I was going to peel this stuff, and then I decided I don't know if I want to I was just like, I don't know. So let me see if you can see my other camera. Here
Oh,
we
look
go.
at
That's
that.
a better angle. There you go. So
Look at
that's the
that.
cactus.
Whoa.
And this is a big one, and I'll tell you about how I went looking for it yesterday. But here's the fruit. If you've ever heard of the prickly pear, or this is what people turn into jams. And I think it goes this way. That's how it grows. Something like this. And so I went and I found these at another store yesterday, and you can see the needles. So I decided perhaps I would not do this live just because just because I don't want any injuries. But I had a video for you, and then I didn't get a chance to actually set it up like I wanted to.
Yeah,
I said I was going to do a
we
little.
all have these aspirations to do, and you are just you're all about doing so many great things, and you're so good with
Oh,
videos, and you have your own podcast too, which we'll talk about later, and you just do some fantastic videos. So, but
thank
that's
you.
okay. I mean, that's
Yeah.
quite a big cactus there. That's pretty cool. And I live in Florida, so I actually can drive by people's homes and I see that, you know. And some people, I think they just have it for, decorative purposes. And there's a lot of different fruit trees and things that you drive by and you see all the fruit just all over the front lawn, and as plant-based, you're like, oh, what a waste. It's just rotting all over the lawn.
Well, that's exactly what got me thinking about cactus, because my husband, I think I told you, he took this wilderness overnight camping course because he really wants to learn how to just backpack and survive off of that, right, out in the open. And so there was a guide that was teaching them how to forage and really how to survive with basic things in their surroundings. And so my husband came home after this weekend of experience, and he really enjoyed it, and he started to talk about the cactus. So I'm going to pick it up like this, but he started to talk about it, and he said, oh, we learned how to burn the needles off, like if you don't have a knife, you burn the needles off over an open fire. And I said, oh, we eat those. Like, that's food. When I look at cactus, I grew up eating cactus, so to me it's food. And I agree with you that when I see them off the side of the road in other places, I'm always thinking, gosh, I wonder if I could just go and get some free cactus. Can I forage? I don't know what the rules
Exactly.
are. I know that some cactus are protected in Arizona, and that's where I grew up. And so in our surroundings, we always had cactus. And from time to time, my dad would go and pick them up. And both parents cooked, but my dad was very entertaining watching him in the kitchen. And then in our most recent trip to Cancun, first thing we do, as you know, Amy, when we're plant-based and we travel, depending on where you're traveling to, you want to have the foods available in your space. And so my husband and I went to a Walmart, knowing that we were going to have everything we want for the foods we want because of the produce. But what I wanted to show you and didn't get to share, maybe I'll email you the video, is this woman had like a cactus section in Walmart. And she was literally surrounded by cacti, I guess, and these nopales. And she was just like batch peeling, like scraping, turning around, throwing them out, and then scraping, and then throwing them out for people to grab and as much as they wanted. So every time I'd walk by her, they were all clear. The cacti, they were all gone. So there she is doing them again. That means, it's very popular in our cuisine. We eat cactus regularly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just so excited about this. And I think everybody else is too. So,
Yeah.
we were starting off with a true or false. So I'm just going to do maybe one of them, and then we'll get started with the recipe demo. So
Okay.
this true or false is, and Green Warriors, type in your answer. Cactus leaf has been found to lower cholesterol levels in the body. Is that true or false? And type in your answer. And Maya, what do you say?
I say true.
Right?
Yes. Another photo that I didn't get to share with you. Yesterday, I went to. Do we want to wait for someone to answer before I
No,
talk?
that's okay. No,
Okay.
just go ahead.
So yesterday, I went to 2 particular stores looking for cactus because I want to get them as close to when I'm going to cook them. Of course, you have to kind of know how to pick these, and I can still make you a little video or a slideshow and send it over for your viewers to
Uh-huh.
know how to pick them. But I went over looking for the whole cactus or whatever I could find, and to Fiesta. I don't know if you have a Fiesta, but it's a Mexican market in our area, or Latin,
Uh-huh.
Hispanic. And I saw these capsules, called nopalitos. They're the, just what you can take. And they were promoting the cactus pills for weight loss. And then, so I remember that, as a child, I remember when you go to Mexican markets and other places like that, they promote the cactus, but they promote it in capsules. And I'm thinking, you could just eat it. You could just have the cactus in your diet regularly, and it'll help, like you said, with cholesterol and with weight loss and other wonderful benefits.
Yeah. Oh, isn't that great? And and it can be delicious, so you don't have to worry about taking a pill. Just eat the food.
That is true.
Okay. Well,
And I
you want
wanted
to
to,
go ahead.
I wanted to show you the two variations that I have, what I was able to find, because I think we're towards the end of the season of cactus. They're not as available. And so what I found, which I don't necessarily like to purchase, are the ones in bags. For a couple of reasons, they're in a bag. and and as you know, Amy, when you put produce in bags, they sweat, and then it makes them spoil faster, as you know. So this is the best that I could find, in addition to the whole cactus, which I said I didn't want to really peel it live, but you would just scrape the needles off. So you scrape the needles off, even if you take a little bit of the surface, and then just slice it and dice it. It's to your liking. They can be longer or shorter. But I also wanted to show you another option for anyone who doesn't want to venture through the whole process of cutting and preparing the cactus. They do come in a jar. Of course, we know that things in jars, especially when they're in brine, they tend to be higher in sodium. But if you go this route, you would just rinse these, remove the liquid, and then rinse them in water so that you have more of just the cactus. So that's what I have for you. And
That's awesome. I just love whenever you pick it up with those tongs. It's just so cool. Here's my meal.
I've been known, like I said, I grew up in Arizona, so I am anybody, I guess, that grows up there. But myself and my sisters were very physically active outdoors, surrounded by cactus, and all of us experienced falling into those bushes,
Oh, yeah.
falling into them, and then just have needles all around. Is just not the best experience.
Oh, my
So
goodness.
so you have the recipe, and it
Yes.
will take 10 minutes to cook. And I wanted to walk you through that process, but we have the recipe
Yes, and
available.
it's going to be in the show notes, so don't worry, guys. It's going to be there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I'll be interested in knowing if anybody if anybody has experience cooking with the nopalitos, the nopales that I'm about to prepare. So
Yes, I would like to know that too. So anybody that's watching,
yeah.
type that in the comments and let us know if you've ever experienced cooking or preparing it or eating it.
Yes. I'm going to start my water because that's going to take about 10 minutes to cook up. But I'm using this Dutch top, the convection stove top thing that allows it to heat up faster. And so in my instructions, I said to use about 3 cups of these, of the nopales, but you can use, I have different, I think I had another recipe where I share that as well. But you could do whatever you want. In our household, it's only two of us. And sometimes I use this to rinse ahead of time. I think I'm going to go ahead and rinse these just because they've been sitting in a bag. And and look at this, Amy. Look. See the slime? I don't know if you can see the
Yes,
slime
I can see it.
So
And that's probably why it helps lower cholesterol, because foods that are slimy, like okra, oatmeal, things like that are slimy. I don't know. I guess it kind of clings to the cholesterol in your blood. I don't know, but it's slimy foods that seems to do the trick.
Yeah, I'll put the other camera on so that you can see. But now that you're talking about that, it kind of oh, I'm sorry, I did the wrong thing. Now that you're mentioning Sorry, I thought I was go to my settings here so that you can have the other view here
Okay.
as I'm working. This is a little bit better, I think, maybe. So you talked about the okra, and then we know that the aloe vera as well has a lot of slime. And so I want to say you can even find the juice, the extract of the nopales. And so I'm going to take, this is probably going to be about three cups, but let me just, I'm sure that I will end up using most of the cactus that I bought because I don't want it to spoil. I wish I had somebody helping me switch from one angle to the other, but I am going to give them a rinse before, just
We're
because
both
they've been
doing
sitting.
engineering for the show today. We're both doing camera angles, but you have cooking on top of it. So now you have
So
that in a salad spinner. Is there any special reason that you're doing that?
why I'm using it in here
Is that a
instead of,
salad spinner that you have it in?
it is a salad spinner.
Uh-huh.
And the only reason I'm doing it here is because I want to contain everything. And I'm giving it just a little bit of a rinse and a lot of slime. I'll show you here in this angle. So I filled it up with water and you can start to see the slime. And like I said, it's, if you have a hard time with that, my husband doesn't like peppers very much or okra, but I'm the opposite. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
And so it just really depends. And I'm going to switch cameras so that you can just see better. Let's see here. So I'm using this just so that I can easily just get everything out. But you see, can you see that?
Yes, I can.
And it's a lot of slime.
That's got to be good for like dry skin, or some kind of conditioner treatment for your hair. It's got to be good for something.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I probably shouldn't throw it away now that you're saying that, because look at this stuff. A face mask would be wonderful. And so what the recipe calls for, I'm going to turn up my water so it heats up faster. Oops. Is I'm just going to put in onion. So I'm going to put my 3 cups in there. And like I said, if you can see that, here's 1 cup. And this slime will cook away. And, one thing that it just came to mind is I don't know if you can eat these raw. I never have. So this is 3 cups. So you can see it's not everything that I poured. But definitely I want to use the rest of this. All right, so I'm starting to boil. Well, not quite, but I have 3 cups in here. And then just to kind of flavor it a little bit, I have 1 garlic. And then I'm going to put in about 1/4 of an onion. I guess it's about 1/4 already here. And just peel it. And when you drain this, you can discard the onion if you want, because we're going to put fresh ingredients in here. So I'm going to put the onion in there. Oops, what happened here? There we go. Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can still hear
Okay.
you, and this is just so interesting. It must be fun. So, like when you cut this cactus leaf, I mean, is that slime just kind of oozing out as you're cutting it up?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I can try to do that for you while we're doing that. And then I'll move on to actually dicing the rest of the ingredients. But I'll show you real quick with this one. If the problem is I don't know if you can see it, and I don't want to do it on this because that's going to be where I'm going to dice the rest of the stuff. But maybe I can do it on this area here, on this surface.
Is that awesome cutting board that you told me about?
Oh, my awesome cutting board is back here. The one that I use all the time that has like little containers. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
I keep it here because I use it all the time.
Oh, my sister-in-law saw your previous broadcast with us when you did the Hearts of Palm, and
Yes.
and she saw how excited I got about that cutting board, and then it was my husband's birthday shortly after, so she sent it to him for a birthday present.
Oh my
So
gosh, look at
yeah,
that.
so I've been using it all the time. I love it.
Oh my
I'll
God.
put a link to that for everybody
Oh,
so that they can see,
I have,
because it's just so awesome.
have you made a video with it yet or anything? Have you cooked with
Yes,
it or
I
like on it?
haven't completed it yet, but I make a big salad, so yeah, I just have to publish the video, but it's getting there.
Yeah, okay.
So there you
So
are
this
with
is,
the sharp blade, the sharp part of your knife, right?
yes, I'm actually using like a small paring knife.
Okay.
I think that's what it's called, a paring knife, the
And
little
you've got
one.
your
And then,
silicone knit on just in case, right?
yes, yes, because you do not want to have issues with this. And so it's hard to see here, but the slime does show up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not a pro like the woman that I saw in Walmart, just, and so, but I'm not going to do it all. And I wanted to do it for you. I can do a video later, but I'm not going to do it all because I don't want the needles all over my the rest of my food.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
So
only
let me
time, one of
clear
the
this.
only times you have to worry about cross-contamination.
That's an excellent way to put it. By the way, Amy, I've been cooking brown rice in the background and a pot of black beans, because when I finally complete this and I plate it, I'm going to show you how you can serve it. I'm going to show you how you can serve the salad either in a taco. Let me make sure, in a taco, or with the side of rice and black beans, because those
Ooh.
are kind of like my favorite combinations there. So this is taking a little bit longer.
Oh, I am excited about this. Well, I'm going to get a question for you, and I mean,
Okay.
you're not a physician or a registered dietitian, so that's our disclaimer. But Gina said if she rinses the slime, is it still beneficial for weight loss?
That's a good question. And
But
I
I
would,
don't think you're
I,
not taking all the slime out, right? I mean, there's
no,
still slime in it, right?
yes, yes. And I think it's also the fiber in the nopal, just like a lot of the plant-based foods.
Yep. Peace Loving
You,
says it's soluble fiber.
there you go. Okay, so my next gadget I'm going to show you as we're waiting for this boiling to happen. And by the way, I just got a needle in my finger as I was cleaning the
See, look
surface.
at all what Maya's going through for you guys. Show everybody, give her a heart because she got. It's kind of
The wonders of cooking. I love being
yeah.
in the kitchen. I'm not used to cooking in front of people, but I love being in the kitchen. So I'm going to prepare some of the ingredients as we're waiting for the cactus. And our recipe calls for, so we already have a quarter of the red onion and then 1 garlic. That's going to help flavor the cactus in here. But the next thing we need to do to actually make the salad, because we're going to make this as a sort of like a refreshing salad, more of a summer thing. But this cactus, you can use it in place of kind of like, and I've never did this, but you know how you can do green beans and eggs, I think. You can add that. Well, the cactus, you can do the same thing. Once it's cooked, we can use a vegan egg, right? Like a tofu egg, a scramble, and you can add it there, sort of like you would do a green bean. You can also top the nopales, the cooked ones, over a bowl of black beans, for example, like how we like black beans. And it's a matter of getting used to the flavor and the texture of it, I think, more than anything. So we're going to chop an entire red onion. That's part of our recipe. And you probably have one of these choppers, Amy. I'm going to show you. A friend of ours introduced us to this a while back, and ever since then, I just use this chopper.
Oh yes.
I call it a chopper. What's the name of it again?
Well, I think there's a few different brands, but that's what I call it.
Yeah,
it has different things on it, and because it has different. Does yours have different attachments to it also?
it does.
Yeah.
So I can either cube things to this size, which is going to be very close to the same size as my cactus. And everyone's different as to how they prefer things. I don't like the rest of my ingredients to compete with my main ingredient. So I think for this recipe, because of the size of the nopal, I'm going to go ahead and dice everything a little bit smaller. And I was using this earlier for onion, so I didn't rinse it. I just decided, oh, what the heck, I'm going to use it again. So I'm going to take a whole onion and then kind of eyeball whether I really want to use that much onion. And like anything else, that's kind of how you do things. And I'm going to switch temporarily to the other camera so you can see what's happening. And what you'll be able to see is that the color is changing now. The color of the cactus is changing. It's becoming a darker green, not so bright anymore. Maybe a little bit dull. Maybe that's what I mean. And you're starting to see, let's bring it in a little bit closer, that the slime is starting to build up. So I'm going to continue to do that. Okay. And Cameron.
It's going to die in like 5 minutes.
Uh-oh. Something's dying.
Yes, we actually lost power. I was trying to figure out. I'm kind of in the dark now, but I have. Go ahead. So keep going because my battery backup may not be here very much longer.
Oh no! Something just blew on my end.
And oh my goodness!
Wow! Am I experiencing what you're experiencing? I thought I think I have a technical problem in the sense that I'm using a strip, and I think that one of my devices, my stovetop, might have caused that. But no worries. I can easily fix this. We're back on. Can you hear me still?
I can hear you. I just can't see you. Oh, now I can see you. Okay. Well, we might have to speed things up.
So tell you what.
I said electrical empathy. Thank you, Scott.
So tell you how I can speed it up. Since this is not quite done, let's move to the other option of actually using the ones that are already prepared. And can you see me, Amy?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, since we are having to speed things up anyway, is I'm only going to dice a little bit of this red onion because we need to get that ingredient in there. And basically, my recipe says to do heirloom tomatoes, but I don't have those. So what I'm going to do instead is use Roma tomatoes, and I'm going to only add about a couple of them. Make sure you give them a good rinse before. I like rinsing everything, and I'm going to go ahead and dice. And then my ingredient also calls for cilantro. So again, because I'm changing everything around a little bit, and I'm going to make some noise if you can still see me. This is how this little device works, if you can see it. I'm going to have my onion be a little bit smaller than my tomato. And I'm going to pound. Probably, sometimes the outer skin is a little bit harder, depending on the age of the onion. And so I'm going to just kind of do that. You can see that. And I can hear your... I can hear that you're running low on power there. All right, yes. So just do a little bit more.
That's my battery backup or something beeping.
Okay. So we're gonna move everything faster, and I'm gonna show you in one bowl. It's gonna be a bigger bowl because I expect it to have more. I'm gonna take this cactus and I'm going to rinse it. And I already had something set up here so that I can do that. And remember that you want to do that. You want to rinse your cactus if you buy it in a jar, because of the brine in it. It'll be too much salt, and we don't want all that salt. And now this particular cactus is in longer, like strainy. And so I'm going to leave it like that. I won't make any changes to it. And also, they put a jalapeno or some sort of serrano pepper in here. And just kind of try to remove as much water as you can. And let's see. So yeah, my husband was surprised that you were still doing your live because of the storm going in your area. So there you can see that.
Yeah,
And we always.
I knew that you were going to be spectacular, and I didn't want anybody to miss it.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. So here we are. So we start with our base, which, these are cooked. And then, like I said, I've had to modify a little bit because we're not going to be using everything that we had planned on using. And I'm going to add a small amount of onion, depending on how much you like. And because I have leftovers, I'm going to put them on the side and then use this for something else. And then we'll just use our tomatoes. And then the last thing that we add is cilantro. I don't know if you have access to the recipe.
Yes,
Amy?
the recipe is going to be in the show notes for everybody. So they don't have to worry about it. You can find it there.
All right. And like I said, I want the tomatoes to be a little bit bigger just because I love tomatoes. I eat tomatoes almost every day. I don't know if you do.
Isn't this gadget so awesome? I mean, how could even a professional chef, can they dice a tomato that quickly? I don't know.
I mean, this is how a friend of ours introduced us to this little system. And ever since then, it's like, I have no problem putting fresh ingredients in anything because of this. All right.
You rinse it right out and it's done.
Right. And then I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to try to hurry up and see if I can plate it for you. And so I have my onion. You put as much as you want, and you put as much onion as well as you want. And by the way, it's not slimy. You can't really see it here, but I'm going to add more tomato because I really love tomatoes. So that's about that. And then what else do I need to add? My cilantro. So cilantro is a little tricky for me because my husband doesn't receive it well. He doesn't, it tastes like soap to him.
Yep.
And so
don't care for it. I think when it's fresh, I like it better. When it's not fresh, I don't really care for it. And along I was having it not fresh. I thought that was why I didn't like it. I thought that I did not like it. I didn't realize that was why I didn't like it. It was because it just wasn't fresh. But yes.
So I've said this before to you, Amy, that the cilantro is so good. I had a mercury problem one time in my life, and mercury, cilantro is excellent for detoxifying the body.
Yes.
And so
you told us that story in the previous broadcast, and I'm going to have a link to that in the notes so that people can watch it if they didn't get to see that, because that was a fabulous story. That here you are walking and talking, and you had mercury poisoning, and now you're great.
So I love this salad. My mom, like I said, both of my parents were very active in the kitchen, but my mom also does really well. She's good making certain dishes, and many of them were plant-based. Growing up, she just didn't realize it because it was still original cuisine. So it's looking beautiful. The only other thing I need to do is add a little bit of lime, and I'll do it just to show you, and then we'll move on to plating this. And you can plate it however you want. But like everything else, I love my kitchen gadgets. I have a mango gadget I was showing off the other day on Instagram, and someone said, this is for mango. Someone said, you can just figure out where the bone is and then cut it. And I said, I love gadgets. What are you talking about? I live for gadgets.
Oh, yes.
And
I've tried so many different types of juicers, and then I keep going back to that one. Because
right.
You just have to know to put it in the opposite way that you think it needs to go in.
That's right. So the final thing is, I think I've added almost everything, but you see that I had to eyeball everything because it's a basic salad. Think of making a regular salad. So I added everything. Add as much as you want in terms of lime. If some people still need a little bit of juice, like if you still need, not juice, but a little bit of salt, then you would sprinkle it at the end if you still need that. So here I have, I'm going to put a little bit of and like I said, you can make tacos if you wanted to, but I made rice ahead of time for this. So I'm excited to share that with you guys. And it's nice and warm. It's done. And I started to make a video.
I use coriander seeds instead of the cilantro.
Nice. Yes, I think you can be.
Like a good idea.
So that's interesting that my husband does like coriander more than the cilantro, even though it comes from the same family, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I did film.
Coriander seeds come from the same plant as cilantro.
Yep. So I'm almost
that
done.
weird? He likes the seeds, but not the plant. So
I'm
that's
going
a
to come
good idea,
around.
Gina. I think that, especially if
Thank you,
somebody
Gina.
likes cilantro, you could try that, and they might like it that way.
Yeah, I'm off camera because I'm on the other side where my Instapot is, but I'm going to show you the beautiful plate. And this is what we're going to have for lunch. Actually, my husband, I told him yesterday this is what I was going to do, and he's just like, So here we are. I'm going to see if I can get it on camera. So you have black beans, and you can put the black beans on the side if you like, right, with a little bit of broth. But this is how I would eat it, with corn tortillas on the side. Black beans, Mexican rice, and a salad of nopales. And there you have protein, starchy foods, fiber, fresh ingredients, nutrients. Can you see me still? Or did I lose you? Is Amy? Amy, are you still there? Oh, Amy froze. All right. I'm actually going to take a photo of this. Let's see. Where's my other camera? And beautiful. There we are. Did I freeze or did she freeze? Let's see. Okay, guys, I think we might have lost Amy. And I think I'm still live. So if I am, let me see if I can see the chat. I don't know if I can see it or not, but I probably, yes. So she said that I just got a message from Amy, and she said that her power is now out and her backup battery is dead. I think I may still be live, but I'm going to share the photos of this beautiful dish and hopefully maybe redo this so that you can get a better feel for how to make them. My cactus has been sitting here for quite a while, and it's now the same color as this. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can switch out. So I can show you that it's still the same color, which means that these are now ready to be used. So here we are. There we are. So these are now ready to be strained. So we're going to remove the water and everything else, and it's done. So here we are. Switching over to that. So I believe that Amy's gone. I want to thank everybody. I'm going to go ahead and log out. Thank you for joining me today, and hopefully I can explain a little bit more. Have a wonderful day.